All right, well, welcome everybody. I guess today is February the 5th, 7th, 10th, February the 10th. And, as we usually do, we're going to talk about what we did last week and what we have coming up this week. Well, this last week was very productive. We did go to the City Council on Wednesday. We had 5 people scheduled to speak, but 2 of them got bumped. And so this coming Wednesday, which is the 12th, those 2 people are scheduled to be the first 2 speakers before the mayor. Now, we all got to experience it. Several of us were here. I'll show probably the picture again. But look at that. We had a turnout of about 20 people. My sister was actually there, but she was in the hall even. So it was an experience. They say that you will speak between 9 and 9:30, but it depends on what their things are going on for their own personal agenda, which isn't real involved. But this particular day, they were giving out awards, and they had to sing the Black Anthem, which I didn't even know there was one. And they had to thank people and stuff. I know. So we really had to wait a good 45 minutes before I was the second speaker. There was someone else that was just speaking on their own topic. And then Eve was after me. And so the 2 that were bumped, like I say, that's going to be Josh and it's going to be Linda. And they'll be speaking this Wednesday. And they are scheduled to be the first 2 speakers, which will be around 9:30 or so. So anybody that wants to come, it's one of our, whoever's not on Facebook, we're going to start doing this email list. We're going to send you information, because if you don't see it on Facebook, you'll get to know about it. But we do have an event, and it's a solidarity event, and that's what we called for when these people came, to sit in the audience and clap. It gets recorded and televised. It's on 101 FM radio, and they replay it. Thanks. Here, Phyllis, we'll just put it wherever it's empty.
A specific time?
Yeah, they live stream it, and then they repeat it. And so they'll repeat it throughout the week. And there also is a public television station that I can't tell you what it is right now, but you can look it up. And then what we do is we will pull it off and make a YouTube out of it, and then we'll also...
It's on the site, the Dallas City Council site.
Dallas City Council site. Well, they archive it after the end of the day. Yes, so the next day you can find it. So the good thing is this is a tool. So once we do this, we can use this as a tool going forward, showing what we're doing and to build more, support. Because the people in Austin, they met on January 23rd. Now in Austin, they've been fighting this actively for quite a while with very little success. And a lot of people are feeling as though it's never going to happen. But in Dallas, there has not been a lot of active fighting it. So it's kind of a new time, a new day, and new information. And we've got wonderful things in store. I know we're going to get this done. And we're taking this on as Activists for Truth for many reasons. Number 1, it's horrible. Number 2, it crosses, it crosses party lines, it crosses everything, it affects everybody. Another thing, it's a cost effect. We're not asking for something that's going to cost something. We're trying to do something that's going to save money. So it's a financial good thing. And another thing is why we're doing it is so that Activists for Truth can prove to people and show people you can make a difference, And we're learning how to. Before the first 5 of us went to the City Council, 9 of us went, and about 5 of us talked that time also. None of us had done it. Most of them. There's 1 that did. And so it was a learning experience. Hi, Sally. Learning experience, and that's what we need. We need to know how to do this. And then we need to have a success. And I believe this will be our success. So this Wednesday, the 12th, we want as many people to come, clap. Brad was there. It makes a difference because I was starting to say, in Austin, I saw their little YouTube, and it was on the 23rd. They might have had 3-4 people in the audience. And so when they did a good job, but it didn't have the impact. It doesn't have the impact to the council either. So after we got through talking, Channel 5, Channel 4, and Channel 8 were there, and they said, can we do an interview with you? So that was really good. Someone said that it aired on Channel 5. I can't find these things very good, but it'll surface. If it's really there, it'll surface. They hold that footage sometimes, too. and they use it at other times. But I think we did good. I mean, we had a bunch of people. It looked good, and so I think that's going to be a good start. Other good things this week. Well, that was real good in itself, just the experience and the momentum moving. Actually, the week before, and this kind of plays together with this, there was a woman I met, and she was on the city council in Washington, in a small town in Washington State, back in 2005, and she led the fight to get fluoride out in her area and was successful. So she gave me 3 little hints. She said, number 1, go often. Go often. Go every week or often. Just be in front of them and keep pushing. And number 2, see who your likely ones are, which makes sense. You know, there's 14 people on the city council. A few are going to be a little bit more, and I know who they are. My guy who is for this area, Philip Kingston, he wouldn't be necessarily against us. I don't know how much he's going to step out. He's only been in office maybe 6 months, but Angela Hunt suggested him to run for this position, which he did. And so Angela Hunt supposedly would have been maybe supporting us on something like this. And so there's 2 that I know that we can work on, and we will work on between now and the next time we go again. Now this Wednesday,
Chevy today, he's your neighbor.
Chevy,
He's one of the council members.
okay.
He lives about 5 blocks from here.
No, on Goodwin, huh?
No, not on Goodwin, on another Main Street, but I can't remember.
Okay.
But his signs are all over, like what you've ever seen.
Okay, but is he running, or is
No,
he?
he is.
He's been in a long
He's been
time.
on a long
Okay,
time.
well, that's interesting that he would live in my district, but then another
He's down
guy.
by the end of Lakewood, though.
Oh, okay, a little, he's in the,
200 block or something.
oh, okay, well, good, there you go. Then who knows, you know, we could try. We're just gonna try. Okay, so I wanna tell you that. All right, but moving forward on this, the next Monday, okay, our next meeting, which would be the 17th, I know who we're going to have speaking, and every Monday we're going to address the fluoride and give updates. But on that Monday, we're having Robert Kessig, and the people that are on Facebook have an advantage because I put a YouTube. He had spoken before his city council about Agenda 21. He did a great 6-minute YouTube, moment there, and but he is a finance guru and an activist, and him and his son had a radio station for a while. Very, very good. But he's coming to speak to us about the math problem. And this is something that he read about, I believe. It got him kind of his juices flowing, is in the Tom Woods book about nullification. And that's a really important issue for us all to be strong behind. That'll be another thing that we'll have, a Monday about. We're going to push our candidates. Any candidate that we're getting into the Texas House, we want them to understand nullification and the strength behind it, which it's getting to be a big topic, so I think most of them will say they are. When it comes to really doing it, we'll see. But the math problem has to do with the amount of people that vote for a candidate, and on the national scene, as we all know, the districts are gerrymandered to begin with. So that makes it more difficult to unseat an incumbent and to have our opinions make a difference because it gets watered down. Well, on the state level, it's a little better. The percentage of how many people are voting for that person is a little better odds, but still not good enough. But he's going to break all that down and explain it. Hi, Murdoch. So, anyway, so, hi. Come on in, guys. Or over here, there's a 2-top over here. All right, so on Monday, but we will still be talking about fluoride, and this is good. This is good. Then once I say the real stuff, I'm just kind of stalling here just a little. I want to reiterate, people, anybody that's new, we have like a card that I want to give you about some information of what we do all the time here, and I'll get that for you. And we also have a book, because we would like to put this around the table again. Here you go. Put your information so that we can update you on what we're doing. Okay, so now we got enough people in the room. I want to tell you I'm really excited that on the fluoride issue, one of the news reporters asked me, well, aren't they going to talk to you? Aren't they going to say the concentration is just so low? It doesn't really hurt anybody anyways. These are the standard things they come up with. So, of course, we say it's not the concentration, it's how much people eat the dose, because you get fluoride in so many other areas. Well, I was at another event on Thursday. I went to the Don Huffines event, and I was very lucky because Mark Davis was there, and I got his ear, and I told him, yeah, I know, and not that I support how Mark Davis speaks, but he's got a very big audience. And I told him about what we're doing. I gave him a flyer, and he said, "Yeah, I can work on this. You know, we can talk about this." So he's going to help us. But I have to, you know, it's like we don't want to use our time up. We want to do it like when we're doing this protest thing, which I'll tell you all about in a second, to have him help promote that. But I said to him, now how are you going to remember it's me when I call? And I said, my name's Regina, and that's his daughter's name. So we got, you know, that he'll remember, and so that was a good thing. But also while I was there, one of my friends was there with her friend. So I'm telling them, well, this is our local thing, and I have these flyers I was handing out. So this goes back to what I always say to you guys, always have something to hand out. This one has some facts about, you know, fluoride. And at the bottom it has our website, you know. And like I say, as I gave these cards out to people, cut them up, guys. You got 9 business card type things, you know. You just take the whole sheet, you got 9, put your name on the back and hand it to them, or a fact you know, or something like that, or what, you know, handwrite it, you know. It'll stand out. People will notice it more than even a business card. So I have these. I want everybody to have one when you're going home. So I gave, so this lady is the friend of my friend, and I said to her, we're fighting fluoride in the water in Dallas. That's our local project. She said, well, I'm a dentist. And right away, her face and everything was like, you know, I'm for fluoride. And I go, okay. I said, I'm so glad. And this is how you can do it. And then we need to do this. I mean it sincerely, too. I said, I really need to find out, you know, why are you for fluoride? And she said, well, let me think now. What, you know, seriously, it's just like, she said, well, because of the developing teeth, it's so important up to 8 years old, you know, especially poverty children, you know, they need to have that to make strong teeth. And I said, no, the facts are in that in 3 main cities, in Philadelphia and Chicago and to New York, 20 years they've been fluorinating, yet they have horrible teeth decay. So she said, you know, well, wait, is this really, you know? So she was very nice. We had a good conversation. And she's been a dentist since like the 80s. And she wants to look into it. And also she wants us to help her because she's upset about something. In Texas, they have voted that there is a panel that will dictate to the dentist just like they dictate to doctors, and the Attorney General is the one that's over it. You know, that's so ridiculous. No sense, as usual. So she said, you want to fight something? She said, but the problem is these young doctors come out of school and they owe so much money that these corporations that support this hire them. And she said, what you learn young, you do and you do, which she doesn't realize it kind of, sort of, but she's a product of that also. It's like, well, no, fluoride is good. It's an endorsement. It's the endorsements that they're getting. It's not fact, you know? And as in one of the things, it's, and I plagiarize everything. I plagiarize it from fluoridealert.org. Dr. Paul Connett and his son, Michael Connett. Michael is a lawyer. Dr. Paul Connett is a PhD. And he's been pulling together all this research for 14 and a half years. And he recently wrote a book, and he has 80 pages of research in his book. He's got the biggest database about fluoride and results and everything like that. I mean, it's conclusive. Ever since 2010 especially, it's incredible how much information is out there. So when I say there is no good reason to put fluoride in the water and a plethora of reasons why not, it's the truth. The city of Dallas doesn't really have a leg to stand on, and my approach to them, seriously, if you hear the YouTube and whatever, is I'm approaching them saying, you're going to encourage us to do this because you'll be a hero, because because the city council, 9 of them out of the 14 can decide to put it on the ballot, okay? If they do not do that, we can still get it on the ballot, but we have to get 20,000 valid signatures. And that requires getting a heck of a lot more than 20,000 because they throw a lot away if they can't read the writing or they're not in the district. We would be able to pull from three, counties. We can pull from Denton County, Dallas County, and Collin County, which is good. But I don't want to have to do that. So we're really appealing to them, like, why? Why wouldn't you let the people vote? Why? It was 50 years ago that when they voted to put the fluoride in the water, and most of those people are probably dead or moved away. The population in Dallas has grown by so much that it's absurd. It's absurd that they wouldn't want to make it easy for us and the public and their constituents to just put it on the ballot. Then it'll be our job between now and November to make sure everybody votes right, which I think if you'll just do a poll, just this week, guys, get some of these little flyers or get one of these things and just do a test. Talk to people in the grocery store or wherever you are and say, we're fighting fluoride in the water. Mostly my reaction is, yeah, that's really not good. I never get, there's 1 or 2 that I'll get, yeah, but what about the teeth? What about the kids? The poverty, And then just have that fact in your mind that 3 major cities for 20 years have been fluoridating, or go to fluoridealert.org and just watch some of their videos. They got some short videos that are awesome. It'll go in your head and you'll be able to respond. But then just come back and let me know. Out of 9 people or how many people? How many of them? Did you have many people that were for fluoride? And then you'll get encouraged yourself. But we do need to do this. We do need to do this. Now, the 2 piece de resistances. Okay, first of all, the people that weren't here before, I'm going to show you how many people came to, and one of these days we'll have a video, what do you call that thing? A projector back again. But until we do, we'll do it this, right? We had 20 people go down to City Hall. And it was, yes. Wasn't that good? That 9 o'clock in the morning. What's really good about it is if you do have to take some of your time off, it's nice that it's early in the morning. But what I'm hoping to do, hold on, another more, on the 5th, put this on your calendar. It's a month away almost. The 5th of March, it's a Wednesday. I just thought of this idea. We're going to go down there and we're going to have a sign protest at 8 in the morning. I'm going to say 8:15, really. We're going to invite the press, and we're going to have a bunch of people with signs. We'll probably have a couple people there with guitars and maybe a bongo drums and a harmonica or something too. But we're just saying that, we have the right. It's one of the things that I'm going to speak about at my next time going is consent, the issue of consent. And the deal of it is fluoride is a drug, and it's being put in our water. And we have not been given the option like a doctor would have to give you. A doctor will lose his license if he does not fully disclose the good and the bad about a drug that he's administering to you or wanting you to take even. That's before he administers it. He has to get your consent. But this is a drug. It's classified as a drug. It's
FDA classified.
Yeah, and it's
Not just some doctor.
No, and see, it's the only thing that's put in the water as a drug. The other things that are put in the water, because they like to convolute that too, they like to say, well, chlorination. No, but chlorination is not fluoridation. Chlorination and all the other things that are put in there are to treat the water to be safe or taste good or something like that. Fluoride specifically and only is put in there for the growth of the teeth, for helping the teeth. And that has been proven that topically is better than ingesting, and that ingesting has so many health risks. So it's so bizarre that this is going on. So it's the consent issue, but we'll make signs. So Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:15 for sure, only for about 30 minutes, because we've got to get in to speak. And we'll have like 5 of us scheduled to speak that morning, so as many people that can come into the building also. But the media will be there, because they're always there. They record all these things. So it's perfect, but we'll do a press release, want as many people as possible. That's March 5th. Okay, now, one of the bigger piece de resistances here, I guess you call it, is my dear friends Phyllis and John. they came to one of our fluoride meetings, and one of the first ones, I think. And John, another dear friend, had gotten the idea prior to that meeting, because we were talking about how we're going to start taking this to the council. He said, "Do you want me to call some of the fluoride-free dentists?" And I go, "Are there any?" And he goes, "Yeah, there's a couple." So he called he called 3, and one of them responded, and the receptionist was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great." And she called me back. She wanted to know more details, and so they didn't end up coming, but my friends came. And as I was explaining to the group like this, well, there was this dental office in Arlington, and they're fluoride-free. They said, "We go there." So that was pretty cool. Well, since then, we've been busy, and with Activists for Truth, we've got a lot of balls in the air. We're fighting so many different things. We want to help candidates, and we're trying to expose, open carry and everything. And so we're doing a lot of different things simultaneously. So I hadn't gotten to talk to my dear friends, but I was a little concerned, where have they been? Because I thought maybe I'm always one that worries a little bit, did I do something wrong or whatever? Well, I called them, and they said they were just busy, but that they know that these 2 doctors that run this practice are really passionate about this. Well, I went to their website. Awesome website. You got to go there. They have a resource drop-down box. So it's pridedental.com. Okay? And they're in Arlington. When you drop down, they have resources. They're playing a 28-minute video about fluoride. Everything that we're saying to the council. They're out there. They're condemning it. They're telling you. And they're probably going to be willing to come with us. So what I'm hoping is they're one of the 5.
There's a dental association that...
That's what you were saying. There's a naturopathic-y kind of one, right? A dental association, which I didn't find that yet, because today was the day I was doing this, but we need to do that. Brochures. And this doctor's office has brochures about fluoride, against fluoride, laying out there. So they need to be supported. So on Facebook, I made an event, and the event says, please go like their page. They had 68 likes on their page. From yesterday, maybe 3 in the afternoon, until I checked it today, it was over 80. So our people are responding. Did you do it, Sally?
No.
No? But you will. So how many people in here did it? How many people in here did it? 1, 2.
There wasn't anything to click on there, so I...
When you go to Pride Dental at Facebook, you go in the search thing for that, there's just a little like on their page. You just press it, and it just likes it, okay? So there was only 3 out of this whole group, and how many people have a Facebook, are on Facebook? Oh, 1. You guys did it. 2. Comment. Go ahead.
So the event that you created
The event that I created.
is an event.
Right.
On there, near the top, you'll see the link to their Facebook page. So you want to click that link.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so guys, anybody who's on Facebook, go ahead.
I was confused.
Did
Okay.
you mention the site fluoridealert.com?
.org.
.org? Because if you do .com, it goes right to the American Dental Association.
Oh, isn't that special? It's .org. .org. Yes. And it's Paul Connett, and he's the doctor, and then Michael Connett. They have great videos. I mean, really watch it. I don't believe that you have to create what to say. Plagiarize it. He wants you to. Use his sentence. Really, he does a great job. That was his sentence, and I used it. Said something like, you're allowing a community to do to everyone that what a doctor can do to no one. Isn't that great? I mean, great little one-liners like that, and it's the truth. If a doctor would lose his license, why are they getting away with doing this? It's only because we haven't stood up and done it. And maybe some people have. I'm not going to down anybody that hasn't wanted to get fluoride out of the water. But we're going to have a strategy. We got a big strategy going on. We get some doctors on our side. We hit them. And we don't attack them. We enlighten them. We want to include them. We want them to be wanting to do this. Because what does it hurt? Except because we're not even going to go that they're getting kickbacks or that the CBC, because that's what CDC, what is it called? The Centers for Disease, yeah. I have heard, and this is what they say in Austin, is that they're connected and they get funding from the CDC, right? And there's a connection, but they have to follow the other things, So, but We're not going to even go there. We're not going to attack. We're not going to do like that. We're going to keep it positive. We're not going to bring up that in Germany they dump people down and all that kind of stuff. There's enough other things that are not controversial that we're going to get them on the facts and keep it real simple. So please, please, please be thinking about March 5th. And then we'll keep you updated on, because just today he said, I'll talk to them, and you're very confident, right, that they would be helpful, and they'll probably, so maybe very possibly, they'll come to one of our Monday meetings. We'll have that in there. And this is where people on Facebook, you get to see what we have going on, and people that are giving us your Gmail will let you know. But we're always here on Mondays, always 7 o'clock. We always have a topic, and fluoride will always be touched on during the meeting. It won't be the whole thing, but we'll touch on it. So, okay. So those were the events we went. We went to the Don Huffine event, handed out like 50 flyers, made that connection with that other dentist, Mark Davis. So I'm not going to tell Mark Davis necessarily about it, like maybe a week or so. We'll talk about it before we're doing that demonstration in the morning. And I want you all to be thinking about crossover groups that you can go to, that you can encourage them to be involved in what we're doing, and why. Go ahead, David. Do you have something for me?
I thought you were going to ask for other events.
Yeah, what do we have? Okay, any other events we did last week?
No.
Those were pretty good in the 7-day period. Okay. What do we have coming up?
Tomorrow there's that JBS lunch with.
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow, John Birch Society lunch. They meet the second Tuesday of the month. And they have Chris Ann Hall. She's going to be speaking tomorrow about the Constitution. She's fabulous. Again, Facebook people, they're able to see, I put a video there, and you can get a taste of what she has to say. It's $8. This is something JBS puts on. It's $8 if you don't eat, and $20 if you do. It starts at about 11:30, and it goes till about 2-ish. And she'll do. It's at.
$22. New facility there. New management.
Oh, is it 22 now instead of 20?
22, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, 22. You just pay at the door, but you do kind of get.
Which holiday?
It's the Holiday Inn Select that's just south of Campbell on the west side of 75. And again, we have it. Can you say the address?
1655 North Central Expressway, Richardson.
And the time to arrive?
I'd say 11:30. Everybody's sitting down by noon. And you get to meet a lot of good activists, too. It's another good, if I wasn't already part of it, wanting to go for other reasons, I've always used it as an outreach, because those are the kind of people that care and they're involved and stuff like that. So that's the John Birch Society. And then on Wednesday, is that the one Eve told you about, David?
Oh, and Wednesday night at 6:30.
Wednesday night at 6:30. There's a Republican women's group?
I'm actually not sure which organization is holding it, but it's a Katrina Pearson meet and greet.
Oh, okay. It's a Katrina Pearson meet and greet. Katrina Pearson is running against Pete Sessions for Congress in the 32nd District, which is basically around here. It takes in a very large area. It takes in some of Garland and Mesquite. Whoever doesn't know Pete Sessions, I'll tell you real quick. We fight him wherever you can't really get a hold of him most of the time. He was just scheduled for 2 events in the last 3 months. It was on the books. He canceled. He didn't show. A lot of people know he married a woman from Florida. I believe she's a representative also. And he just has a apartment in the Village. So he's not in Dallas very much for any reason. And especially not to be seen or talked to. He doesn't go to town hall meetings. He's got a very powerful position. He is the chairman of the Rules Committee, and he can stop any sort of bills coming to the floor. And one of the things that we're real passionate about, and we have signs, big vinyl signs that we hold up. In 1 minute, I'll see if I can find my picture. But the day after they made that ordinance, well, the ordinance has been on the books for a long time, even since the 20s or the 40s, long time, that you can't hold a sign closer than 75 feet to a thoroughfare or an on-ramp or whatever. Well, they just made it stronger. Well, the next day we're out there on 75 in Park Lane holding our banners and in defiance, I guess you'd say. But and basically speaking, guys, in my opinion, and what I've always done, is you do it, you know? You do it and see what happens. I mean, policemen passed us, you know? And so if they come up, you talk to them, you know? I mean, but you're still getting your message out and you're not cowarding. Go ahead. Were you going to say something, sweetie? No? Okay. So we had signs and it says, Pete Sessions, stop blocking Benghazi truth. Because there was, and I know I am repeating this, some things are worth repeating, without a doubt. You can get a hold of your congressman if it's not Pete Sessions and make sure that he's signed on to Frank Wolf, House Resolution 36. He's from Virginia. And he has a bill that says we need to have an independent investigation of Benghazi. That happened September 11th, 2011. What did I say? 2012. 11, because it was a year in 2012. Oh, that's right. 2012, it was a year in 2013. You're right. I'm sorry. And you should know, right? And so a whole year went by, and then it's just absurd. So even some of the report did come out, and what Pete Sessions says is we don't need an investigation. We have one ongoing. But the people that are on those committees are divided their attention among 5 issues. So that's just terrible. Okay, so want to push that forward. The Moriartys are here. They're not going to give us an update. They do often, but we want to get a few other things done here. Go to LibyanWarTheTruth.com, and they also have Libyan War the Truth Facebook. They get direct information from Libya, and nobody else has got it. And it's translated and put right out there. The Libyans are what?
So can we get a 20-second update on what's going on there?
They had said,
The Libyans are taking back their country. They're fighting Al Qaeda. The U.S. has finally realized that they have been backing a mad dog that's biting them in the ass. And,
Al Qaeda.
So hopefully, the Libyans will be successful.
The general-
okay, come on up. They, you know.
Let me just say, the General National Congress, which would be like, okay, this will be real quick.
In Libya, they formed something called the General National Congress, which was their House of Representatives and their Senate, basically, after the fake revolution. And they have a prime minister named Ali Zidane. About half of that group has run off now or quit. Most of them are trying to leave. Ali Zidane was coming back from the Emirates on Saturday. His plane turned around and took him to Malta because he was afraid he was going to be arrested. So the government is failing, and the tribes are taking back their country.
That is really awesome. But unfortunately, you don't hear that anywhere else, you know? I mean, and if anything, they could very likely turn this around and say that the rebels are the bad guys and that they're not the they do that. You know, in our media, we all are familiar with the fact that our propaganda media just spouts out what they want to put out there, and that they are the ones that put Al Qaeda over there to begin with. So they create the problem. Then they say they're fighting the problem. Lots of people die. The Moriartys were there. Please look them up. They have a 3-hour DVD. If you go to their website, it's $10, and they'll send it to you. I think it is, whatever it is. 3 hours. They were there. They saw the UN and NATO come in. They saw thousands of people die. And just like you'll hear right now, they're talking about how we need to go into Syria, you know? They say that the Syrian leader is bad, but he's an eye doctor, a surgeon, and he didn't even want GMO foods in his country, yet he's killing his people. I mean, there's some few reports that'll come through Russia or whatever saying, no, this is not true. But they keep pushing for it because all these countries, they have oil, they have other things, and it's just our imperialistic nature of the bad guys that are trying to kill a lot of people and rule the world, you know? It's a new world order. And so the deal of it is we have to find our own avenues, and we're doing that on our local level. You got to go to the Power Hour. You got to go look for alternative media outlets. Oh, we did one other important thing too, by the way. The day after we went to the city council, John connected me with Republic Broadcasting Republic Broadcasting. If you just Google that, it'll come up. It's kind of like GCN radio, and there's lots of good shows on there. Well, there's a guy named John Statmiller, and he, I guess, is that right? John Statmiller? Yeah, everybody, I usually screw it up. Okay, so he wanted really to talk to John. Once I talked to him, he's like, well, maybe you can do an interview. I was on for 45 minutes, and so Joanne made it into 4 segments of about 12, 15 minutes, whatever. And so, again, that's on Facebook. But also, I can email it to anybody that wants any of this stuff. What was really good is he announced Activists for Truth. He put the website. He complimented what we're doing. He told the email and all that. Okay, so let me tell you something, guys. I paid $5.99 because the only way you could get to the archives was paying for $5.99. So I did that so Joanne could pull it off. So for this month, if anyone wants to listen to Republic Broadcasting, use my email, and you should know what it is, guys, because it's on all the literature. It's regina.imburgia@gmail.com. That's the email. And then Regina1 is the password. So listen to Republic Broadcasting. Look at the archives. It's a good show. You all can go there. And by the way,
It's also on YouTube, Regina.
it's not, so how do you find it? You just YouTube?
Regina, yeah. Regina,
It'll come up?
Whatever's the title on
Okay.
that video.
Would you look it up, David, if you want to? I mean, my sister thought I did a good job. So, anyways, but it was good. What was good was supposedly he's got a national audience, and I've actually got a few phone calls from old people who are like, "Was that really you?" So, it's good. We got to find our avenues. We got to find out who are the people out there talking about the truth, and he seems to be definitely a person like that. David will give us a title on the YouTube if you wanna find it. Something about that too. I'm trying to think. Oh yes. Okay. Also, guys, you know Alex Jones. He's got a TV station, right? It's Prison Planet. Okay, I signed up, paid the $55. You all can use it. He even says that you can have up to 11 people at one time. At one time. So I mean that's not going to happen. 11 us watching it at the same time. So all of you guys, just again, it's Regina Imburgia is the password or the email, username or whatever. And then the password is Alex Jones. All one word, no capitals. So if any time, you know, you might want to listen to or watch him live, but not just the audio, it's kind of cool, you know. So y'all can take advantage of it. You know, it's paid for a whole year. I just got it in January, and it'd be great if you could use it, you know. So, okay, so here we go. What else do we have? What other events we have coming up, David? That's okay. That's okay. Well, we'll tell you about the YouTube. And we really are. I actually got a little amplifier thing because at least you could have heard some things, but it wasn't strong enough, and I'm working on it. We need to have our media guy back. David Bond used to come all the time, but he's moved a little bit. He's got so much going on, but he used to be very helpful with these audio things. So what do we have coming up?
We've got 2 events coming up on Saturday.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not sure if you want to announce.
I'll announce it because it's something we announced, but then I'm sure he'll talk about it. Come and take it, America, right? So, Katie.
And come and take it, Texas.
Come and take it, Texas, yeah. And also, it's an open carry type event, but it's don't comply and come and take it. So, and the whole deal of it is, you guys know I mentioned this, but I'll mention it to people. It's the 3rd Saturday of the month. The Grassy Knoll, which is Dealey Plaza in Dallas. You meet there. There's parking, easy parking, right? And bring your long gun, borrow somebody's, or just come and join in. You know, it's for exercising the Second Amendment and for joining like-minded people, and also making it visible that guns aren't something to be feared. You know. It's the truth. When I first came to Texas, there was always cars, trucks with guns in the back window. I kind of thought they stopped doing it because people were stealing them, but I don't know. I guess partly that was what it was, maybe. But anyways, so media has really been picking up on this, which is really nice and good. They've been pretty positive. But we do encourage that the 3rd Saturday of the month, and it's from 10 o'clock in the morning. until, they used to say till 2, but I've noticed it's closer to 1-ish or so. I mean, the bulk time is building up, and Brad's there all the time. Would you agree with that, Brad? Could you tell us what you would like, you know?
It's a lot of fun if you haven't come out. We go from there to the Chipotle restaurant. We walk right in with our AR-15s, get right in line. No one's crawling under the table or screaming or anything like that. And I've had people in the line actually walk up and shake my hand and say, I want to appreciate what you're doing, you know. And it's very inspiring and motivating to me because I'm tired of the classroom. It's time to get out in the field and exercise what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and what's really good is Chipotle, which is really funny you say that. The one time or so I was there, I think I went twice. I love to go. It's just, I work on Saturday, but I try to get there. Chipotle kind of froze us out. And I remember Murdoch went up, so it's just talking to the management sometimes, I guess, because if they're letting you in and they've recently let you in, there's a pizza place right next door, and they love it. They were taking pictures with the guys with the guns. It was, that Luke Grandowski was here, and it was pretty awesome. But that's what I was going to say. At Dealey Plaza, sometimes it is a perfect opportunity for tourists. They're always going by, and also, they again, Aaron, a lot of you guys know Aaron and Rudy. There were some Chinese people that just were wowed about it. You know, think about these countries that, you know, they're not allowed. This is just like an amazing picture to come home with. So that's that. And then what else we have on Saturday?
Liberty Book Fair or something like that.
Yeah, Aaron posted that one. It's another, you know, like I've said to people, we have either outreach events, we promote events, or we are putting on an event, okay? So when we do this protest thing is going to be our event we're putting on. And then we promote and we encourage the event on the third Saturday. Just like the first Saturday, Rick Warden goes down to the same Dealey Plaza and he does chalk art. It's really nice. It's really noticeable. He gets down there about 11, but he says from 1 to 3 he plays his guitar and it draws attention. It has messages. It's a wonderful thing. That's the first Saturday of the month. And so this particular thing is a some sort of book. Read it out loud.
It's the East Dallas County Liberty Fair on Saturday from 4 to 6. Events include special speakers, candidate Q&A, meet your precinct chair, GeoTV volunteer opportunities, voter registration, meet the candidates in person, and pastor's national call to prayer.
Where's that going to be?
That's going to be at the First Baptist Church of Meadowview, 4346 North Galloway Avenue in Mesquite.
Okay, that's a pretty big church. So
Can you repeat a little bit of that?
okay,
Time and place.
Saturday 4 o'clock till
4 to 6.
4 to 6. It's in Mesquite. It's First Baptist Galloway.
First Baptist Church of Meadowview.
Oh, First Baptist Church of Meadowview. It's an outreach event that you can go to where there's going to be a candidates and there's going to be you're going to voter registration and just address on Galloway.
4346 North Galloway Avenue.
4346 North Galloway. Okay, so we have a couple of minutes. I want to say one more thing I'm going to start doing. Okay. All right, I've said this before. I mean, we need to be wise in these days we're living in, and we all talk about how we need to be prepared and we need to, you know, have our ducks in a row. We talk about it, but even I fall short in so many ways. And, you know, you go to these sites where it'll say 35 of the things that are going to fall off the shelf or whatever, go off the shelf, and you've got to wait for the guy to say all this, and it's really boring. So what I'm going to do, the Power Hour is wonderful. And they have 10 items to disappear first, okay? So every meeting, I'm just going to mention 10, you know, and just to keep you thinking. So generators. Good ones cost dearly. Gas storage, risky, noisy, target of thieves, maintenance, etc. So, good ones cost dearly. I don't know what that means. Now, this is the first time I'm reading it. But generators, I guess, think of an alternative source of energy. And just keep your mind thinking about that, okay? Water filters and purifiers. Portable toilets. I'll tell you a little bit about that. I'm reading this for the first time. Do you know what one idea I had was a 5-gallon pail and trash bags in it. And then you just get this toilet seat you put on the top. You know, how easy, and you stack it up. I mean, that's a good idea. So, find trash bags when they're cheap, throw them in the pail, and put the thing on there, and stick it in a corner somewhere, I mean, who cares? It's not going to get hurt outside, right? And at least you'll have something. Seasoned firewood, lamp oil, wicks, lamps, and First Choice by Clear Oil, and stockpile any. Okay, there you go. Again, yes, sir.
You can buy a receiver, you can buy a toilet seat that slips into your receiver hitch on your car.
What's a receiver?
The square hole where you
Where
hook
you
a trailer.
hook a trailer to a car.
Oh, okay.
It's a padded steel toilet seat.
Yeah? Why?
And any kind of trash bag underneath it, you can be wherever you want to.
Oh, there you go. And you carry it on the back of your car?
Pull over at 6:30.
Okay.
There's a warning though,
Gun show.
Okay. Okay.
There's a warning that says do not use it.
while driving.
Wild drive.
There you go. Of course. Can openers, guys. And even, when you get these can openers, I'm a cook, they wear out. So you get them. Those they do. How many cans do you get to open, really? But on the Power I know they have the big one, being a cook, they have these big ones where you kind of go like this. Surprisingly, those suckers don't. And you can open big cans. They're like $10. The Power Hour had them. So, I mean, think of these things and start, and then honey and syrups. Honey is a really good thing. It's good for energy. It's good for an antiseptic kind of thing. It's got a lot of good...
Expiration on honey.
No expiration? You're absolutely, doesn't have to be refrigerated. And we're going to we're going to have a lady here, I call her the bee lady. She's Susan Pollard. She's an activist. She has bees in Lakewood area, and she's awesome. And she's talking about we need the bees. I mean, you all probably have heard that, but we really do. I mean, it's the cycle of how all this goes. And they're wonderful. They retrieve, like a lot of times people have bees in the wrong place, and they'll come and get them and stuff like that. So we'll hook you up with her. You'll hear about her. And of course, rice and beans and stuff like that. I mean, there's logical things to do, guys. Just every time you go to the store, get some lentils or something, and then put them in the 5-gallon. I had actually mice come down from my ceiling through the little thing like that. They ate the ceiling, and they came in and they ate a lot of my oatmeal and stuff. So put them in those, put them in either glass, plastic too, they do. Well, that's disgusting. Okay.
The rice gets bugs in it, so you really have to store it.
Use bay leaves.
Bay leaves. There are, yeah, see, bay leaf.
In the rice.
The flour and everything, bugs won't get in it if you put bay leaves.
Dry bit, see there? See what a good thing? Okay, so,
Dry ice, you can put a little bit of dry ice, if you do it properly, you use a little bit of dry ice and then it melts and the nitrogen comes up through your 5-gallon container.
and it kind of, it keeps it like airtight too. And you,
have bugs in your drain.
Yep,
You have
that's
to do
right.
this,
And you know what? Even if there's bugs in your grain, you still can eat the grain. You just rinse them out. I mean, in other countries, that's the primo rice that's aged rice. Aged rice, well, yeah, you could eat them, but you just let it wash the top and pour it off. Okay, so that was about 10. Each time, I'm going to mention it because, guys, FEMA even has the disaster ideas, and they're talking about food and water and flashlights and batteries, and this has been out more and more all the time. So why is FEMA telling you? We all know, like, a lot of stuff that looks as though there's a plan going on, so let's not get caught unprepared, kind of. So just do something, Kind of like losing weight, they say, if you, if you stand instead of you sit, it's good. Or, what is it, Michelle? No, don't like that. It's like the little things that you do, It's like you don't have to. That's what the deal is. See, my son, a lot of times it's like you're talking about being prepared, and then it's like suture kits or what is that called? Like a, I don't know. Major big things. And then it's either expensive or you don't do it. So just get some water and basics. Okay, now, I think we covered all of our events that are coming up. Do we have another event?
Yes.
Did someone? Okay.
There was supposed to have been an anti-surveillance protest tonight, but and I was getting ready for it. That's why I'm burning up in this hot shirt. But before I left, I got notification that's been postponed to Wednesday at 8 p.m. Same location.
Which is where?
The Brahms in Louisville, right off of I-35. I don't know the street address, but it's on Facebook. And I can't go because I have an opera ticket. I bought it months ago, but if anybody's available at that time, that would be cool. Tomorrow night at the Sierra Club's monthly meeting, Cindy Freeling is.
The Sierra Club's monthly reason, okay.
Cindy Freeling is going to speak about the dangers of GMOs, and she's part of our local March Against Monsanto, North Texans for Food Freedom, and so her talk will be pretty good. The other speaker will be speaking about wetlands, and I enjoy those because of my science background. I enjoy more science than politics, but I'm really bringing your attention to Cindy Freeling and her talk about the dangers of GMOs.
And she's gonna be where now tomorrow?
It'll be at the REI Recreational Equipment Incorporated store on 635 on the North Frontage Road between Welch and Midway. And that meeting takes place every week. It's upstairs in their little meeting room. If you go up the stairs or up the elevator, go to the left of the store, there's a meeting room back there, and there'll be a sign directing people who are first timers. And it's people hobnob at 6:30 in the evening, eat organic fruit and stuff like that. And at 7, the meeting starts in earnest, and that's about the time. I think Cindy is going to go on before the wetland guy. So if you get there between 6:30 and 7, hopefully the weather won't ice out. And on the 26th of this month, which is a Wednesday, at 7:30, I've mentioned this before, but it's coming up. There will be a talk at UTD, the same location where the movie screenings have taken place recently, which is Johnson Performance Hall in the Johnson Building. Someone will be speaking. I misplaced the program, so I can't give you the name. But someone will be speaking about food additives and that issue. It's part of their year-long series on food politics. And in April, it's a little bit of lead time, but on April 23rd, also Wednesday, same place, same time, which is 7:30, a lady will be talking about GMOs, and she is for labeling. Of course, I'm for abolition, but I see labeling as kind of a springboard towards abolition. So it's not going to be some industry diatribe of how great GMOs are. She's going to be upfront about the risks of them.
That's perfect.
And-
You're getting us too far out. So I
Okay.
think that's perfect. And that's something, really, thank you. Marjorie is very helpful with cluing us into places because those are definite outreach places. And as we're trying to get people to either sign our petition, if we have to go through that way, or getting people educated, educated on the fluoride issue, educated on getting it on the ballot, whatever, voting against it. Okay, so we need to hit these places. But our GMO lady is here. This is Jessica Winters. She's the one who head up with Richard Rouse. Rusi.
Cindy Freely, she also, the first march or whatever, we did that.
Come here.
and
Oh, please.
all
Please.
the-
So, and when is the GMO march going to be?
The March Against Monsanto is May 24th this year, and it'll be at Dallas City Hall. And then also from last year, like Cindy Freely and Richard and I, and then Mandalay, she also, how the meeting was postponed to Wednesday, that's on, it's called North Texas Light Brigade.
Yes.
And she's the one, but they help promote that. And then we also, after the first March Against Monsanto, we started a Facebook page called North Texans for Food Freedom. And there's a lot of people that went to the march that are still on that page. And there's several different pages for, if you would just go on Facebook, or you can even go on, Google and type in March Against Monsanto Dallas. And it has, I'll bring in flyers and give
Before
to anyone.
you all leave, she has flyers.
So
So.
I just passed out, but it's
Perfect.
the 24th on May on Dallas
day of the
City
week
Hall
is that?
it's a Saturday at
You
1.
guys keep doing it on
I
Saturday.
know. Well, it's
I
like,
keep telling them
well,
there's no people down there.
I know
but
it's like a world I think that's when they
I
do,
guess so.
everyone does it, so, but I think,
I wish you would have it at Clyde Warren Park, 'cause there's a lot of people there, and then you can hand out an Institute for
Well-
Responsible Technologies literature, which is pretty good.
we got in trouble last time when we were doing the March Against Corruption for handing out flyers there. But I think, you know, they always do like, because they say, we had, the first march, we had 1,500
They
people
did,
there.
1,500
And
people. We helped support
And it,
that.
yeah, and it's not like everyone, you know, we're marching and there's like, where's the media, where's the media? And there's helicopters going over, so it's not like they didn't know. We were, you know, they covered
Right.
a Taylor Swift concert that night, you know,
Right.
so.
Oh, yeah, I know. And
But-
they'll always say 1,500, there was about 300 people there. So,
Yeah.
but that's what's good when we have our own YouTubes and we can get it out there. Yes, Sally?
What was it, North Texas for what?
Yes, for food freedom, for food freedom.
Food freedom?
Yes, and I'm gonna start putting links to these things too. Good, get the flyers. Now, one more thing, another big thing that we support and we talk about quite often, even when my sister is not here, is Oath Keepers. She's the vice president for the state of Texas, and she's also gonna talk a little bit. Yes, come here, please. No. He said he didn't want a whole hour. Get over here. Come on, hurry up, right now. Okay, so the deal of it is she's gonna mention CSPOA. I used to always get that wrong, and now lately 3 times in a row it's right. She helped start all that, and she helped put on the first event for Sheriff Mack. So here you go. Go ahead, sweetie.
Well, Oath Keepers, for those of you that don't know, is an association of police and military that will disobey an unlawful or unconstitutional order. And it's rather important, since you can't always get those that are elected to do the right thing or pass the right law, to just get those that are serving to just disobey an unconstitutional order. I have these little cards if anybody wants them. These are some suggested orders that an oath keeper would not obey. Our outreach is to all oath takers to ask them to be an oath keeper, and also to all veterans to re-enlist. They're needed as leaders to help prepare people in case anything does happen, and to pass on their training. They signed up. The oath never expires. So all veterans are asked to re-enlist and be leaders in the community. Oath Keepers are asking, well, Stuart Rhodes is the founder of Oath Keepers. He was a paratrooper who was injured in a jump, and he became a constitutional lawyer. He had a running article in SWAT magazine talking about posse comitatus and the dangers of a militarized police force, and well, we see some of that happening. I have had, yes?
Would you move just a tiny bit closer to the mic?
Yeah, I don't really like speaking in front of people. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Repeat it if you like double the time.
Deal. I have had Oath Keepers booths at conferences, sheriff's conferences. Texas has about 250 sheriffs in the state, and a large portion of the county sheriffs are on board, totally behind us. Most of the big city sheriffs are not, unfortunately, but that brings us to the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. Was founded by Sheriff Richard Mack. He sued the federal government under the Clinton administration, and he won a Supreme Court victory that we can all use as a 10th Amendment right argument. Good, thank you. In it, Scalia stated that the federal government cannot basically tell the states what to do, and the sheriff is the chief law enforcement officer in the county. So he can intercede, and he should intercede, between the federal regulatory agents and the people if necessary. And we do have great sheriffs across the United States that are doing that, and quite a few sheriffs have come on board. So you can look up Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. I have flyers on that. Also, just to let you know that our outreach with Oath Keepers is to those serving. We want them to stand down. A large portion of the elite forces are on board. I have been told that the majority of those at Fort Hood are on board, but we have been putting up billboards at like 29 Palms, asking them,
Pass those around, please.
yeah, We put up one, the one with Obama's face, we put up at the Metro stop to the White House, and the one talking to the CIA, that was when the director of the CIA said, honor your oath and your code to secrecy, and that got Stewart's attention. So he put up, we put up a billboard for those at the Metro stop to the CIA headquarters, explaining to them your code is not of secrecy, is not, it's an oath to the Constitution. Everyone, you know, signs up for the same oath. So that's our outreach. I'm in charge of the billboard, so nationally. So if anyone has any suggestions, but we are focusing. Thank you. She's good at this. So our focus is to the military. We don't outreach as much to the police. Sheriff Mack outreaches to sheriffs because there's only 3,000 sheriffs. We can easily get 10% of the sheriffs on board, which would kind of be a sea change. So thank you for your time.
Do you have any DVDs with you?
Oh, yeah, I do have DVDs. It's of the first Sheriff's Conference. We had some great speakers. The sheriffs that attended heard from Joe Bannister about the IRS. They heard from Tom DeWeese about Agenda 21. They heard constitutional scholars. We have had 4 sheriff's conferences. I was the executive director of CSPOA until recently I stepped down. And we have had 4 conferences. Many sheriffs have heard about it, come on board, chiefs of police. So there is activity going on, and if we can get those serving to stand down or stand up, then we've won.
Michelle is donating these DVDs to Activists for Truth. If anyone wants one, be sure if you take it to either give it to someone or be sure to watch it or whatever. And if you want to put $1 for Activists for Truth, good. But she's giving them. And go ahead, John.
Do you have any update on the police chief who ran into trouble after attending the CSPOA meeting last night?
I don't have an exact update, but I have heard that the TSA was, in a way, almost prepared for him and wanting to make trouble for him on the way there. So I love that it's gotten some attention. It got attention to the Sheriff's Conference, and now we know that more chiefs of police will be attending. Thank you for asking.
And to follow up with that, yes, good, thank you, Michelle. You know, all of these things that we do are she's not a paid staff or anything. It costs her a fortune to be these, do these things, but it does, But that's okay, as long as us and the rest of us help support and, these Oath Keeper cards, give them out, She'll give you a bunch of them, and it's really helpful. Now, I'm going to segue here, although David said I should take a few minutes just so you can break it up and then just have the speaker. No, it's like 1 minute. No, here. I'm just going to shut up for a minute maybe. Okay.
It's literally second.
Is that good?
Turn the camera off.
Turn the camera. Go turn the camera off. There you go. Okay. Okay. Well, Murdoch is awesome in my book. He's a real hero. He got on board, and he's going to tell you the history of how he got started and everything and what he's doing. But what's really awesome is, I said to him the other day, and you can talk about guns, you're probably a big gun person. He said, actually, I'm not, Don't comply a lot of places and things because they fed a bunch of people, because the rules in Dallas say that you can't, you can't be at this place and do it this way and get it certified, and it can't be from a restaurant or whatever. And it was like, no, there's people that are hungry, and we're going to feed them, So that's why I posted on the Facebook event, I have him there with a guitar instead of a gun, Because there's another host side to him of what he wants to do. And it's awesome what he's doing in all the areas, and I really appreciate Murdoch. So, Murdoch, would you come and enlighten us about everything, please? Woo! Murdoch! Put it on top of my stuff, I guess.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, everyone. Like Regina says, always come with something to pass out.
That's right, I'll do it for you.
You want to pass those around the room? Those are some of the informational flyers that we pass out when we're on our open carry walks. I'm going to touch on Come and Take It organization to start with, but my name's Murdoch Pisgatti. I'm with Don'tComply.com. We're a group that deals with all unconstitutional laws and tries to deal with those in different areas. through different organizations and different events that we do, whether it be civil disobedience or other things. Well, I'm really happy to be here talking to you guys. This is a wonderful group of activists and like-minded people that get together, and this needs to be happening in every town. So I'm really happy that y'all invited me out here, and like to see this type of thing, this little town hall backroom meeting of the minds, spread everywhere. Let's see. I guess we'll start at the beginning of how Come and Take It came around. April last year, the end of April, I was on Facebook and saw this video of a master sergeant down in Temple. He got arrested by the police officers for just open carrying his gun while walking down a back road with his son. And I'd seen all these stop and frisk videos in New York, and and I'm like, oh, New York, that police state. It's not really my backyard. But this was Temple, and it was Texas, and it was right down the road from us here. And it really bothered me. And it bothered me so much that I wanted to be the next person to go through that and stand up. And so I said that I'm walking through that town with my gun on because it's my right. It's my right to defend myself, it's to defend my loved ones, and I can do it in whichever manner I want. The Second Amendment doesn't give me the right. I have that natural born right to do it. And at this point, the government is stepping in and saying that I don't have it. They're trying to take authority over me as a free man. And I didn't want to take that as an answer. So I organized a big event down in Temple. Started May 1st. I only had a month to plan it. June 1st, we ended up doing the Come and Take It Temple event, the very first big open carry event in Texas. Live band, music. It was vendors. It was wonderful. We had a bunch of vendors and speakers.
When was that?
It was June 1st of last year, and we got about 500 people there, just from grassroots. They drove from all over the state of Texas and showed up. It was surprising. It was surprising to all of us that it really got traction with people, that it hit home with a lot more people than we thought it would. And from that moment, I announced on stage that we were going to start doing this in every town, that we were going to do it in every community all around Texas. And that's where really Come and Take It America's birthed from, was that day, and it did. We're at about 30 chapters right now in different cities across Texas. They go out and do, there's monthly walks, there's impromptu weekly walks, and really what we're doing is the information that you passed out, we have the mission statement on the back of what we're doing with the group, and it's really counteracting that sensationalism that the media has been giving us for a long time about that people with guns are out to do no good and that they're criminals just because you see a person with a gun. And it wasn't always like that in Texas. It wasn't always like that in anywhere in the country. And the media has demonized anyone that wants to protect themselves and their family. So we're doing what most gun groups don't do, which is present it as we're normal people. We're just everyday citizens. We're not militia guys. We're not in all of our gear and our camo and all that. We're just normal people. That we have plenty of families that come out to these events, mothers and with strollers and entire families, and it's normalizing it again, and it's bringing it back to the public debate, and we have people like Wendy Davis trying to chime in. Oh, I'm all for open carry because of we brought it so much into the debate that people like that are having to say that they're for it and try to get on board, even though we know. So there on our mission statement, you can read a lot of our goals. We're working, and apart from that really different way that we're doing this, we're also doing it differently than the other groups by teaming up with the local police departments and with the chief of police and having very good rapport with these people and communicating with them when we go out and do these events. We let them know where we're at. We're not asking permission. This is our right, but we let them know to save on city resources, to save on you know, endangering lives when they get a 911 call. We don't want them speeding through red lights and things like that. You know, they know where we're at. They know what we're doing. It's no big deal. So we've kind of taken that approach to it. And, you know, next legislative session, when it comes into play and it goes to the floor and they start debating it, you know, when we have all the departments, heads of the police departments saying, yeah, we know these people, they're normal, they're easygoing people, they're not out there to cause trouble, that's going to win it for us. You know, not having them on the other side of that fence yelling that, no, these are troublemakers, they're going to push this down everyone's throat and they're up to no good. So we've already won at this point. If we keep going on this road, we're going to have a constitutional carry back in Texas. You know, 45 states allow the open carry of pistols. Texas doesn't. I mean, we're the gun state, you know, Wild West and all that, and no, it's not like that. So, you know, and the results are, you know, I've been teaming up with people like the sergeant over in Mansfield who's developing a PowerPoint, open carry PowerPoint presentation for the department to go through, and we're working with Come and Take It to develop these presentations, which will then be distributed to other departments. And you know, and I had an officer call me late last night asking me about some gun laws, questions about you know, about campus carry and things like that. And you know, I just find that this is a completely different approach than the other gun groups have been doing, and we've made such ground in such a short time that it's just amazing. I know that we're on the right path. We just get to.
San Antonio, you want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah, and so, you know, that because of all these chapters and all of these people getting on board with this, we then had a couple issues down in San Antonio with the department not respecting our rights to open carry in public. And so we set up a big event down at the Alamo. The chief of police didn't want us there at the time. There's never been an event on the Alamo grounds before, and we got with the Texas Land Commissioner, Jerry Patterson, and he said that was fine. He jumped right on board. He authorized it. To this date, there's never been another event since the Alamo happened where anyone was allowed on the Alamo grounds doing an official event. But it was that important to policymakers and to the Texas Land Commissioner that they allowed that there. And it was a pretty nice sight to see over 1,000 people fully armed standing there on the front lawn of the Alamo. You know, being the backup for the Alamo that didn't quite get there in time, but we're still, you know, we're still, but we got there. We're still here. You know, I have a relative that fought in the Alamo, and you know, it kind of made me proud that we're being able to kind of reestablish those rights and stand our ground when it comes to an encroaching government that's trying to take those away. So, you know, we're really building the trust and camaraderie and acceptance in these departments, police departments. And so, you know, that's kind of our goals. What we do a little different with the Come and Take It than we do with Don't Comply is we've got a very narrow, singular purpose that we're going for, you know, the open carry. And it seems to work well in this particular type of cause because you know, if you talk about a lot of other items like we do on Don't Comply, you start, you know, fracturing the groups, and only a percentage of people will be for this, and this. But when we started to Come and Take It, our goal was to make it only about that one thing. It's about our right to defend ourselves. It's about our natural rights and to be a free person and not have to ask permission to bear arms. And in doing so, we have garnished the support from so many different groups that it's really odd sometimes to see these people all together in one room fighting on the same side and all marching in the same direction. You know, I mean, everyone from Christian conservatives to atheists to anarchists to constitutionalists to Republicans, you know, everybody under the sun is all standing in that room, and they all want one thing. And, you know, whether that's the constitutional version of gun rights or the natural born rights or your God-given right to have a gun and protect yourself. It all falls in line. It's all the same goal. So we really try to stay focused on that, and it's really broadened our group, the demographic of the people that are there fighting for it. It's everybody. It's America. You know, we're not taking anybody out of the equation. Everybody should be in this group, and everybody is welcomed. And anybody that's fighting for that cause and that goal is welcome in our group, and that we're going to support them in their fight towards that as well. And I think we're just going to, we're going to get there. And I'm just more happy than I can even express at the moment of how well it's going. Yes. Adam Kokesh. Well, and that's a good segue into it. You know, there's individuals. He's a major media source in the alternative media news, just like other individuals like Alex Jones, and there's people on both sides of that coin. You know, that like him and hate him. But again, this is what happens in what we're doing with Come and Take It. Is I guess some of you may not know. Recently, Adam Kokesh came to town. We were there. We did a special open carry event for him when he came to town. It gave him something to attend, to experience, to report on. And you know, some people don't agree with 100% of his other items, his other philosophies. But that's what this is about, though. Is he is for this? He's for a constitutional version of carry or your natural rights to defend yourself. And so just like, you know, other people that we've received flack from for having our events, like an Alex Jones or other, you know, divisive people, it doesn't matter, because we're all fighting for this goal. And if we all, you know, once we get that, we can go off in our separate directions and fight the other fights that we want. You know, not everybody's for GMOs, and not everybody's for fluoride, and not everybody's for this, that, and the other. But when when it's talking about your basic freedoms, you know, once we lose that right to bear arms, you're not going to be able to tell them that you don't want fluoride. You're not going to be able to tell them that you don't want GMOs, because it doesn't matter anymore. They can do what they want. They're the ones with the guns. And so, you know, if any news media comes to town, and if any big person that has an audience comes to town, we want to put that on for them and let them experience that themselves and see how wonderful it is, and give them something to report on from a first-person perspective, because that's what we need, is everybody talking about it. Doesn't matter your background.
Well, you did do a march with Adam when he came to town?
We did. We also did one when Luke Rudowski came to town, and we've done one when Alex Jones come to town. And anybody that has come to town and wants that experience, that, you know, has a good audience like that, we're going to do that for them. And it's not, we didn't team up with any person. We didn't, you know, join up on anybody's cruise. We're just letting that out there and letting everyone experience that.
Let me give you a bullet. There's a man, 84 years old, his name is John Melkirk. He's originally from Netherlands, now lives in Canada. And he contacted us, and he said that he wanted us to know, he wanted the Americans to know that we're the last hope of the world. He said, because you all are armed. And he said, the rest of us have all been disarmed. And he said, we're looking to you to save this world. These
Right.
bad guys.
Right.
And this is, like I said, he's from the Netherlands. He said, that's the talk over here. Please hope that the Americans keep their guns and protect themselves and take this country back.
Right, and you know, we have a lot of states that they're losing ground on guns, and the talk is restricting gun rights and making it more and more difficult to own them. Well, we're trying as Texas. I know we're a little behind some of the other states that already have a constitutional carry, but we're turning it around. We're making the momentum go the other direction, and that's what the rest of the country needs to see and start feeling, so that it works that way, starts moving that direction with all the states. Go ahead.
Also,
following what Jimmy said, I think everyone should go on YouTube and look up Yuri Bezmenov.
Yuri Bezmenov?
B-E-Z-M-E-N-O-V, a former KGB agent who defected. He was involved in the infiltration into India to try to convert it to communism, which it failed, fortunately. But he is here, and he is speaking to Americans in at least one of his interviews, and he says, America, you're the last bastion of freedom on this earth, and you need to wake up fast.
Last name?
B-E-Z-M-E-N-O-V, Bezmenov, Yuri, Y-U-R-I.
Kim was next.
Kim?
Pardon? Oh, one more time. B-E-Z-M-E-N-O-V. And if you go to unfilterednews.com, his book is available there.
Thank you.
Sure.
I was just gonna ask you, how many chapters do
N-O-V.
you have in Texas?
We have about 30 now.
Could you repeat
They're
the
all
question?
Texas.
How many chapters
How many chapters?
of Come and Take It America do we, Come and Take It Texas do we have here? And we're at about 30 right now. And a couple in other states.
Have you had a great resistance or just moms against guns or?
Moms demand action.
Moms demand action?
I don't really see too much resistance from them. When we did the San Antonio event, they had 3 or 4 people and a couple kids down the road a mile or so.
And then they seem to make comments on the news and it's like, there's nobody there.
Yeah. It's humorous.
They're not even showing up.
It's humorous. But, the
Chief went over to see him.
yeah, they got a nice visit. Well, he was there at our event too.
I think there was about 1,500 people.
There was.
Huge.
Yeah, it was closer to about 1,500 at the Alamo. We've had a little bit of resistance here and there in different little cities, little hang-ups. We usually put on a big event there and bring several hundred people and show them that we can do this. And during that, it's a wonderful thing because we come in with plenty of notice, we let them know, and what happens is there's a big sit down with the whole department and they relearn and refresh themselves with the laws of Texas. And that's what we want ultimately. And that's a win. When last time we were down in Mansfield doing an overpass open carry event, sign wave, one of the sergeants came up and he was talking to us. He was like, well, we have retrained all of our 911 dispatchers on all the follow-up questions for when people do call when they see someone with a gun. And I just thought at the moment that was the complete win for the town because that's the education. We're trying to educate the public on these laws and make it more normalized. Now, when they call into the department and they get those follow-up questions, well, was he doing anything wrong with it? Was he wielding it around crazy, pointing it at anyone? No, well, that's legal in Texas, and those are all the follow-up questions we need the 911 dispatchers to do.
One follow-up question, maybe you'll get a chance to input as well, is, are you from California?
I'm not from Texas.
No, I mean, to the caller who's calling in.
Oh, that's the yes. That typically it happens enough in Texas.
I went on open carry yesterday and actually met some guys who just moved from California. And they said, oh man, you guys are doing this thing out of school town. They're like, so where do you go take classes so you can do that? I just laughed. No, just come out here with your gun. You can do it anytime you want.
Yeah.
He was dumbfounded on the fact you can just do it without a permit or anything.
See, they were used to paying for the privilege of doing anything.
Yeah.
That was a novel idea.
He was like, you take a class or something?
Well, we have tons of events that go on, monthly walks all over. The second Saturday of every month is in Denton. The third Saturday of every month is in Dallas. The fourth month of every Saturday of every month is in Fort Worth. And this is our lead manager, Kathy Parkins of Fort Worth, that runs that group over there. And that one in Fort Worth is in the stockyards, and it's wonderful. We come out. Not only your long guns, but you're allowed to open carry any pre-1899 black powder pistols or replicas. And so we come out there. Fits right in. We were out there with our old Western black powder revolvers on, and throw on my cowboy hat and stroll through the stockyards, and it's a great experience. People from all over are there. Tourists are there to talk to. They all come up and ask us questions, and it's wonderful. Thousands of people in an hour that you can walk by and get face to face with. Our events, February 15th, we've kind of teamed up with this Texas coalition of a bunch of other gun rights groups, and on the 15th we're going to kind of do a statewide open carry. We're having them in dozens of cities all over the state. One of the big ones I'm going to is out in Andrews, Texas, where we had a little bit of a difficulty with the chief out there not really respecting our rights. So we're going to do a little big event out there and bring a little education to the community, and it should be great. You know, we do a lot. We're doing it all over the state, and anyone wants to join in or look at it more, you can go to Come and Take It America, or Come and Take It Texas is just the abbreviation CATITX.com. That will get you to any of those. Yeah, go ahead.
Are you gonna do another event at the Alamo before it becomes property of the UN?
I don't know, maybe we should have one the day that it does become property.
What day is that?
Yeah, can we put that on our calendar? Do we know that date yet?
I'm telling you, there'll all be somebody of Mexican descent strung up that day.
The mayor of San Antonio is the one who gave it to him. I didn't know he had the authority to do that.
Will you talk about don't comply?
Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, the Come and Take It is a very narrowly minded, singular purpose organization, and we're sticking to that one goal because it brings so many people together. It's a fairly young organization, but we've really spawned a huge open carry movement in Texas, and it's spreading like wildfire. So we're really happy about that. But for the last 9 years, what I've been doing, my love before that was Don'tComply.com. My brother and I started it some years back, and it's a lot broader scope. It's kind of like you guys here. It deals with all unconstitutional laws and all of those things that really that really violate our personal rights, and that we don't see fit that go on, and just like the feeding the homeless event that we did, in Dallas, it's against city ordinances to feed homeless people unless you provide porta potties and get food handlers certificates and the food certified and a whole list of items, plus the permits and the permission from the city to do it. So it really puts in a barrier to entry for anyone.
Where did you do it?
So we ended up. So we decided to do it anyways because we want to show people that you don't have to obey these unconstitutional laws. Just like Oath Keepers not obeying any unconstitutional orders from the government, we don't have to obey these unconstitutional ordinances that stop us from helping our fellow man. And so we organized a big Feed the Homeless event, and we set up right down close to where the homeless problem is, downtown Dallas. Right on the front lawn of the Dallas Marshal's office and their Dallas substation down there, and it was great. It was a great event. We had tons of food. The Garden of Eden people provided all of the non-GMO, homegrown, fresh food for us to serve up. We had some donated deer chili that I'd made up, and so none of it was FDA approved, and none of it was city approved or permitted. Rabbit stew, and we had a couple marshals come out about 30 minutes into it and asked us if we had our licenses and permits and this kind of thing to carry our guns, and I told them, well, I don't need a license to carry my gun. He goes, oh, okay. We were just making sure you were the group that we thought you were. And then he asked me if I needed a permit to serve the food there, and I told him this is public land and we don't need a permit. He said keep it on safety and walked off. Sometimes just doing it and having the confidence to go out and do it and assert your rights to help your fellow man works, and people respect that. So that's where we're at with Don't Comply. We deal with a lot of other content too. Everything from vaccines and GMOs and 9/11 truth and all of the other things that you guys discuss in here. We really want to get into more on the site. We're really looking for other writers and other groups that want to put in content on our site. We get a lot of attention with it because when I do all of my event organizing and put on these big events, I'm usually promoting Don't Comply along with it. It gets a lot of publicity. So if any people know anybody that wants to submit content,
No Fluoride Dallas.
No Fluoride Dallas, we'd love to get you guys connected with some sort of author logins so that you can get some content up there to follow some of your groups as well. We'd love to support all of the other community groups on our site. Go ahead.
Yes, on your various events, are you handing out to the public educational literature?
Yes, as far as like the, we hand this stuff out all the time when we're out on the streets, that's got, the quick little notation of the laws and, some fun facts in our mission statement on here and where they can join up with their local groups. We do. I've got tons in my car. We can, yeah.
All these flyers and business cards, this man pays for that.
Yes.
So if you want to
Yeah,
donate
thanks.
to this man,
Yeah, that'd be good. Thank you. Yeah, we, like any group, we could always use all the donations that we can get. But for the most part, it's going to get done one way or the other, whether it's out of my pocket or somebody else's, because it needs to get out there.
Would you tell us a little bit about what you were telling me about an idea you have for like a preparedness expo, or I don't know how you want to name it, but tell us what your vision idea maybe.
Yeah, it's in the planning stages right now. A little later this year in the summer, we're going to have a big prepper festival, as it were, out on the land of the Garden of Eden, and it's going to encompass all aspects of preppers type things, that anywhere from first aid and gun safety to dressing an animal to hydroponics, year-round growing of food, and all the basics that you need with a bunch of workshops and classes. So be on the lookout for that. We're gonna once
We'll promote it.
once we get that all put together.
Where?
Yeah, we have all of it set, but we're just waiting for a few things to come through and get lined up before we announce it.
where it was going to be?
It's gonna be out in Kennedale, Arlington.
Oh, the Garden of Eden.
The Garden of Eden,
What does
yeah.
that mean?
They're a group, a sustainable living area that has year-round growing of food for a house of people, and
They walk around naked out there too.
Oh,
only the small children.
Joanne, if you go to our website and pull down the presentations, Quinn did a presentation here. And
Yeah.
just to remind everybody, this presentation will be on the website also, so pull
Mhm.
it off.
Now, Quinn and those people out at the Garden of Eden are the ones that donated the food for that homeless feed, and we're actually gearing up to start doing that a little more regularly. We had such a great response from that event, and I had so many people coming up and just asking when we were going to do the next one. When at first it was just a one-time prove a point kind of event, and there's really is a need for that out there, and like it used to be before the welfare state came into play, the community was the people that took care of everyone, and you felt that need to do it, the personal need, and responsibility, and we've kind of lost that because we throw in our taxes every year and like, oh, now I don't have to worry about it, but we do, and taxes is a whole different subject we can talk about later. That'd take another 2 hours. Go ahead.
I think the
Eunuch.
Activists for Truth will probably try to get together and build y'all a real methane generator that doesn't cost anything.
That's great.
It's $100 or $200 maybe investment. It'll make methane like nobody's business from grass or anything.
Really? They've got a good one out at the Garden of Eden that they just use to heat water with out there.
Yeah, no, this makes methane.
Uh-huh.
You can run a generator off of it.
That's great. I'd like.
Feed it with anything. grass.
Maybe we could set up one of those workshops out at the, at our Prepperfest to help show other people how to do that. Excellent, excellent.
I think you remarked that only the small children at the Garden of Eden go out and take pictures. But I think they're very Christian-oriented, and remember, we must become as little children.
All right, I have not seen any of that personally on my trips out there. Any other questions about that?
Any other questions? What do you think? Well, I gotta give my plug for this young man too, because I agree with you. I know he takes a lot of time away from his family. He has, at least, how many children do you have? You don't have any children?
No.
Oh, I thought you had children. Oh, well. He still takes time away from his life, because from the beginning, when this started, which is when was it? Less than a year ago? About a year ago?
Just the come and take it stuff. I've been doing Don't Comply
Not the Don't
forever.
Comply, but the come and take it stuff is when?
Yeah, June 1st.
June, okay.
Last
another
year, yeah.
He has gone everywhere. If you know, he's the one that's out there. He's the one that goes and talks to him, and you've done a wonderful job. I'm so proud of this kid. He's
Great,
like,
thanks.
I adopt him as my son.
So-
But,
so- The web addresses were comeandtakeItamerica.com, don'tcomply.com, or catitx.com. And you can find your local chapters. Well, I guess you guys live here, so Dallas is probably going to be it.
Are you going to be there on
and
Saturday?
I'm going to be in Andrews, running
This
that
Saturday.
big.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
but Brad's going to be there.
Brad
and,
always heads it up
plenty
with
of other
the
people.
flag.
Bring your AR.
We actually have the Coalition of Gun Groups promoting the Saturday event in Dallas
This
as well.
particular one? Good.
So we're going to have some new faces there. And the next week in the Stockyards, and that one's later in the day, right?
1 o'clock.
It's at 1 o'clock at the Stockyards on the fourth Saturday of every month. Meet down there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
In
That's
the
really good.
gravel parking lot behind Billy Bob's.
Yep, there's a gravel parking lot behind Billy Bob's is where we'd meet up. So we'll see you guys out there. Thank y'all very much for your time.
Love you. Okay, so just to reiterate, people, remember Wednesday, if you have time or know of someone that'll show up at the City Hall, 9 o'clock in the morning this Wednesday, to clap, and then, parking is easy. Oh, yes, you go in the back door at the City Hall, you look for the red elevator, which is not easy, but ask somebody, and then go up to the 6th floor, and then tell them that you're there for the City Council meeting. So that's Wednesday. And then next Monday, same place, same time, only, and we'll continue the conversation. We should maybe have an answer about the dentists and their involvement, which will be very exciting. And please, people, grab some sort of, there's more of these cards, have something on you at all times, and even these little cards, let them contact you. Give them a number where they can call you back. And what's really nice about us meeting here all the time on Mondays is any one of these topics, you can tell them to come here, and we're an umbrella group. We support all the people. Like I say, we do the outreach, we also promote, and we also create events. So I hope you come back again. And yes, what?
If they're going down to City Hall for the first time, they'll allow at least 20 minutes.
Oh, there's a lot of traffic at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Finding the parking and.
That's true. Don't get there and think, the crazy elevators, finding the red elevator. There is metered parking in the back. Bring quarters. There's a. Go ahead. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
You can't get in before.
Before what time? You can't get in before 8. Okay. And Marjorie, did you have something to say?
Well, if you want to go on DART, you get off at West End, and you transfer to bus 26 at West End, and it'll let you off.
That's good to know. So you get off at West End if you're taking the DART, and then get the bus 26?
26.
26, and that'll take you to where?
They'll take you to City Hall. You
To
get
City
off-
Hall.
You get off at Marilla and Akron, I think that just right across the street from the City Hall.
Well, City Hall is 1500 Marilla.
Yeah, you can see the City Hall through the windshield, and it's obvious where to get off.
Awesome. Perfect. We love all your added information. The other thing, too, if anybody else has anyone that you know that has some sort of thing going on, we'd like to connect and know what they're doing. Maybe Joanne will bring her guitar. I mean, when we do this March 5th thing, we want to be noticed. We want to be noticed for being positive and community outreach kind of thing. And I was also going to say one more thing. Oh, anybody like an Andes Mint? We'll pass these around. There you go. And Jimmy and Joanne brought those. Okay, guys, go to the website. I always say, yes, and I'm so sorry. John has DVDs of all our presentations, too. Stuart Rhodes was in Dallas, and he was talking about preparedness. Adam Kokesh was here. He's got that, a DVD. They're only $5. John comes and does all these presentations, and you can look through them and see what's here. And then we'll have Murdoch's next week. We got Quinn. He's the one who's talking about the Garden of Eden. He's a young man that was just living out there on his own, away from the grid and everything. And he was stormtrooped kind of in the they came in. He didn't even lock his doors, yet they came in with fully loaded and guns in people's faces. He had a nursing child, and they separated the mother and child. It was just a terrible experience. They didn't find anything. They came in without a warrant. It just was absurd. So, excuse me?
They stole a lot of his belongings.
Oh, they destroyed a lot of the crops.
All is okra.
That's right, okra. If anyone's ever grown okra, it doesn't look anything like marijuana. I mean, it's like, come on, people, whatever they were doing. So, anyways, yes, pass that around the back, maybe there.
Back this way, maybe pass them down that way.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, again, everybody, thank you. Thank you. What? Contact list, one more thing. I know you're all really released, but whatever. But please, new people, sign the contact list. And, it's uniting, guys, and we want to know about yours. The Sierra Club was a great idea that she mentioned that. That's a group we haven't really outreach to, but they're like-minded people on a lot of the things that we're trying to do, especially the fluoride. And I really want to, we've always worked before, and we want to continue to work with Jessica. She comes from a far distance away. Yeah, there's so many things. When they spray chemtrails, that's a big one. We've had a chemtrail girl here before, and we need to really expose. It's terrible. It's falling down on us all the time. And
Alice Flanagan, Women on the Wall.
yeah, Women on the Wall. They have a radio station, Lone Star Tea Party up in Arlington, Fort Worth. They have radio show. I always like to plug Ella Dask. He's on the radio Monday through Friday. That's how Joachim found us, because he had turned it on, and then he heard we were having a meeting, and then he came. And he's got such an interesting story. We've talked to so many people. You touched on the thing of guns being taken away. Well, we have people in our existence that know when the guns are taken away, lights out. We have Q that was talking about in Cuba. For 3 years, it was a community organizer, lawyer that came in and said, I'm not a communist. No, I won't take your guns away. And in 3 years, the guns were all taken away, and that was Cuba. And he escaped here from Cuba, and he's got a story to tell. And it was very terrifying, because one of the things that resonated was people would knock at the door and say they need help. And they didn't know whether that was a trap, because if you open the door, you're guilty of helping and they'll know that you're someone who's not with the system, or it could really have been someone who needed help, and the next day you find out. And it was this things that you're stuck with. 3 years, guys. 3 years. They take the guns away. It's so important. Hemp would change everything positively, because it would help with the 2,000 things it makes. I mean, it people back in jobs. It's not GMO. I mean, the farmers could have a job again. It's just awesome. And that's why they won't let it, come in. But that's a state issue. I mean, we could fight that. And, elections are coming up. So, like next Monday, we'll be talking about who's running and what we look for in a candidate. And we'll have more candidates here, because it starts at that point, guys. We got to get good people in there that might listen to us. Oh, and I got somebody who's going to be talking about those smart meters. Very important about the electrical output from them. And then I bought a tuning fork. I said pitchfork to my daughter. She's like, what are you talking about? I got a tuning fork, All these things affect us, guys. And for us to be good activists fighting truth, we got to be healthy on our own, and we've got to be looking for things that they've suppressed, information and stuff. So there's so many things out there. So I'm going to be having all kinds of different people come here explaining things and talking about things that you wouldn't hear maybe other places. So,
Patriot Bible Church?
Oh, yeah, Patriot Bible Church. Eric Philpott is a black robe minister. Chuck Baldwin out of Colorado talks constitutionally. He's pro-Second Amendment. If you're looking for a church to go to, they're awesome. Yes, he did not take. Actually, I met him because we rented a theater and we showed Freedom to Fascism for free. And we filled the theater up, and then we were involved with the March Against Monsanto. We handed out flyers, and then we had an event that was Abolish the IRS. And by the way, guys, when you hear abolish the IRS, we don't want a flat tax. We don't want to replace it with anything. We want to get rid of it. So a lot of these candidates will say abolish the IRS, but let's give it a flat tax or fair tax or something else. No, we don't want anything. We don't need anything. Anyway, so we brought in some of the people that were in that documentary. It was Joe Bannister and Sherry Peel Jackson and Tom Selgus, and they came and did a seminar for us. And Eric Philpott. Oh, we've got that too. Those are really good. I mean, these are people that fought the IRS. I don't know how many. Do y'all know Freedom to Fascism and the whole deal? Probably everybody in here does. John Gentry has their presentations also for $5 a piece. But the problem with me is I get diverted. I can't remember what I was talking about. Good thing we're not recording. What was the pastor? The pastor, yeah. Paris, Pastor Eric Philpott. And he's got a website that's Cross Life Church. Cross Life? Cross Life. Well, they meet in a hotel, and it's looking like pretty soon. But okay, stay in touch with us because we can let you know where they're meeting. But it's north on 75, exit at Bethany, and it's in the Hilton Gardens. Yeah, on the right there at the corner of Bethany and Central. But Eric's a great guy, and he's an Oath Keeper. He comes on these marches. He comes he might be there Saturday, maybe. I don't know. But he's a real good guy, and he's, talking about the God-given rights that we have. So, okay, guys. All right. I love you all. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. Thank you for coming. Thank you.